Tour the World is brought to you by Evergreen Tours, a world of discovery. And TFE Hotels, more ways to stay. Visit tfehotels.com.
Hello there and welcome to Tour the World. Well, we're on the road again, as the song goes, and Willie Nelson would have felt right at home with our tour group this week as Complete Eastern USA with Evergreen Tours continues in just a moment, including a visit to amazing Nashville. Well, this series, we're coming to you from some amazing hotels around Australia. This week, it's the historic Rendezvous Hotel Melbourne, located right in the heart of the CBD. We'll take a look around shortly, but right now, let's check this week's tour highlights.
The Big Five for this week explore the genteel southern cultural capitals of Charleston and Savannah. From shrimp and grits to hush puppies, there's one spot celebs love to head for some good old-fashioned southern cooking. Musical history comes alive at the Country Music Hall of Fame and legendary Studio B. These boots were made for walking. We go boot shopping in Nashville. And you can't stop the music. From country to blues to hot honey jazz, here in the South, there's something for everyone. Just to recap our map, this 21-day tour got underway in New York City before heading south to Washington, DC and Colonial Williamsburg. This week, we journey on to the Deep South, including gorgeous Charleston and Savannah, Atlanta, and on to the home of country music, Nashville. No stay in Memphis would be complete without a visit to Graceland, and our tour ends in fabulous New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz. Tap into your inner cowboy here in the US of A. This is the spiritual home of country music, not to mention many other musical genres, which originated right here in the Deep South. The history of the South is a turbulent one. One of the darkest chapters, the slave trade, which gave rise to the South's most affluent cities. You'll see them all on this tour. Travelling through the South is a magical experience. There's so much to see and do, you could spend months here. Evergreen Tours covers all the key sites and there's plenty of time to do your own thing along the way. But before we get underway, Tour Director Peggy tells me more about Southern hospitality.
Southern hospitality is very legendary. We will always, if you go into somebody's house, the first thing they will do is they'll offer you something to drink, whether you want it or not. People hold doors. Our children say, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. People, especially in the rural parts of the South, when our guests from another country come, for them, it's the closest they're ever going to get to that country. So they'll go home that night and they'll say, you're not going to believe it. I met people from Australia today. And it's a big deal for them. But they want to show off we want to show off our best side at all times.
With its cobbled streets and historic buildings, Charleston is renowned as a travel destination. It's one of the oldest cities in the South, and it embodies that southern graciousness we've heard so much about. So a horse and carriage seems like the perfect way to explore.
All right, now, Sue, what an absolutely fabulous place Charleston is.
And what a great way to see the city too.
Absolutely, by horse and cart, guided by Myron. Thank you very much, Myron. It's fantastic. Now, Charleston was established in 1670 as the centre of cotton production down here in the Deep South. There are 159 churches to explore around town if you're interested, and of course gorgeous antebellum architecture, which essentially means buildings that were built before the Civil War. Now, it is a little bit warm, but as they say in Charleston, you don't sweat, you glisten.
True.
As a university town, Charleston's sister city of Savannah is pretty lively, and its waterfront precinct, once a no-go zone, is now a tourist hotspot. This city also has a reputation as the home of things that go bump in the night.
Well, welcome to the southern city of Savannah. Now, this city has had an incredibly turbulent past. We're talking war, fire, a yellow fever epidemic, and it's renowned as being one of the most haunted cities in the whole of the United States. Even the visitor centre is built right on top of a graveyard. Now, to get to the bottom of all that, we're going to join a local ghost tour. Beware of the haints.
There are plenty of ways to spend your evening in Savannah, and I opt to hit some of the local haunts. As night falls, this incredibly historic city does take on an ethereal quality. The city was established in 1733, and we visit the infamous Pirate's House, once a tavern for nefarious seafarers, now a tourist restaurant. In days gone by, young men were lured down to the cellar, drugged, then smuggled out through a tunnel to waiting pirate ships. The cellar is said to be haunted by the souls of those who resisted.
So, Connie, where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Beautiful Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, we've just been down in the cellar of the Pirate House. A lot of odd stuff has gone on here over the years.
Yes.
Tell me, what did you see?
So down in the cellar, took a picture with my camera on my phone, got an orb of someone that was in our group. That's, for a non-believer like me, that's a little scary, a little disconcerting.
An orb. Is that like a pirate orb?
Pirate orb.
Can you show
This
us?
is what I found when I looked at the picture.
Look at that. Spooky, huh? But seriously, Savannah is such a beautiful historic city. Well, here at the Rendezvous Hotel, Melbourne, you can experience a little slice of Aussie history. This hotel opened back in 1913, and I love the way these contemporary guest rooms contrast with the old world surrounds. It's just fabulous. Facilities include a bar, a restaurant, a gym, and of course, the hotel is an easy walk to Melbourne's fabulous dining scene. Well, coming up, some serious music history as we take you inside the Country Music Hall of Fame and Graceland. All right, over here in Tennessee, things get a little crazy. Now, many a musician has arrived on these streets with nothing but a guitar and a dream. This is the spiritual home of country music. And keep your eyes peeled here on Broadway. You could bump into anyone from Dolly Parton and Garth Brooks to the Kings of Leon and Keith Urban. This is Nashville.
There's nowhere quite like Nashville, and while it's renowned as a party town, Nashville is still the place to be if you want to make it as a serious country music artist. With a two-night stay here, we begin by exploring the district, lined with honky-tonk bars, restaurants and record shops. Music is everywhere. Live venues like Tootsie's Orchid Lounge have given rise to the likes of Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson. You'll often find those starting out hitting the pavement with just their guitar just to get noticed.
Wow, now music history has been made here in Nashville hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. And one of the best places to get a feel for some of those more incredible music moments is right here at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Shaped like a giant keyboard, the state-of-the-art Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum houses a fantastic collection of country music memorabilia. You could spend hours here. The museum's mission is to preserve the evolving traditions and history of country music. And while tastes and fashions have undoubtedly changed, the core premise of honest lyrics sung from the heart is clearly alive and well. Our visit to the museum includes entry to the legendary RCA Studio B, where the likes of Dolly Parton, Roy Orbison and of course Elvis Presley recorded numerous hits. Next stop, Memphis, and the home of Elvis Presley, Graceland. For many, a visit to Graceland is a pilgrimage to visit the grave sites of the king and his parents. For others, it's simply a chance to get some insight into the life of one of the world's best-known musical icons. The home was redecorated in the 70s and it's gloriously kitsch. Many of Elvis's favourite stage costumes are on display, along with his incredible collection of cars. Elvis also had 2 custom-designed private jets. Graceland is an extraordinary place and one of the absolute highlights of this tour.
Everyone was saying it's not as palatial, you know, but I thought for the time, 1950s, that was as palatial as you could get. And it just had a very moving feeling when you're in his house, and the grounds were beautiful too.
He's a shy sort of person that learned to be extroverted. I think he would have enjoyed being a friend of Elvis Presley.
Incredible Graceland, and so much of the home that we couldn't show you, but that means there'll be lots of surprises when you visit. Well, here's a surprise from the Rendezvous Hotel Melbourne, part of TFE Hotels. If you're planning a visit to Marvellous Melbs anytime soon, jump online after the show to tfehotels.com for the latest special offers. That looks sensational. While you're here, you might like to try the cuisine at Straits Cafe. Well, coming up, we join some of the world's biggest stars for some good old-fashioned southern cooking. Now, the southern states of the USA have an incredibly intricate history, and a lot of it centres around the plantation and, of course, the practice of slavery, which occurred between the 1600s and the 1800s. Now, for many of us, the idea of a plantation is very much driven by Hollywood and films like Gone with the Wind, but in reality, life was often very different.
We start our plantation pilgrimage at Magnolia Plantation outside Charleston. This visit is a Discover More option with Evergreen Tours. Magnolia was established in 1679 as a rice plantation. The majestic gardens came a century later. I catch up with our local guide Michael to find out more.
If you were to come to this plantation in the early 1700s, you'd be in the wilderness. I mean, this was the frontier back then. And you would have been surrounded by very thick vegetative growth, almost like a jungle in this area. You would have arrived by boat, and you would have spent your day out here just wandering the gardens. During when it was producing rice, you didn't really get a lot of house guests. And the main reason is entertaining people on a plantation. When people would come and stay with you, they'd stay weeks or months. And more often than not, you know, you didn't want them there that long, so you would entertain people in the city. When you come with us, we do a walk through the gardens at, you know, about a 45-minute walk, and that just gives you a sneak peek into the gardens, because it really takes you days to cover all these gardens. And then we give you the house tour here, and then we provide you free time as well here.
I've seen plantations and stuff in the movies, and I just wanted to check out if it was the same, and walking through their gardens was just wonderful. I mean, I love plants anyway. Their azaleas, even though they weren't all in bloom, they were just massive. And yeah, it was lovely roaming in and out of the plants and the shadows, and then the flower gardens you'd come across, or you'd see a squirrel or a bird. Yeah, that was probably my top spot.
On to Frogmore Plantation outside Natchez, which has preserved much of its historic background, including one of the oldest intact cotton gins in the USA. Frogmore provides a more in-depth understanding of the importance of slave labour to these southern plantations. It's still possible to visit the slave quarters for an insight into day-to-day life on the plantation. Frogmore is still a working cotton farm to this very day. It's a must-see. Southern food is extraordinary, and all breakfasts and several dinners are included on this tour. These dinners are a great opportunity to get to know your fellow passengers a little better. For your free night in Charleston and some good old-fashioned home-style southern tucker, even the biggest celebs in the world can't get enough of Hyman's.
Southern food is one of a kind. It sticks to your bones. It's a satisfying meal. It's comfort food all the way. Yes, it is. Grits and cheese and fried chicken and fried fish. You can't get it any better. The grit it's ground corn cooked down into a creamy, almost like a grittier cream of wheat. And you can eat it, you know, when you're from the South, you eat grits with tomatoes, gravy, with breakfast, sausage, eggs, and bacon and grits. And also, an old Southern tradition is shrimp and grits and fish and grits. A lot of people eat that for breakfast. Several restaurants you visit will have she crab soup on the menu, highlighted.
What is she crab soup?
She crab soup is it's a cream-based soup, similar to a chowder, basically with the crab roe, a little bit of sherry, and crab meat.
Now another travel tip from Sunwild Holidays, your tour specialist. Booking through a travel agent like Sunwild Holidays can save you time and money. Agents have access to the best deals and valuable experience to share. You'll save time on research, and your travel agent will be there to help if things go wrong. For more travel tips and an exclusive viewer offer on today's tour, visit the Sunwild Holidays website.
Well, there's no doubt about it. On a tour like this, you need a pair of boots that were made for walking. And where else to pick up a brand new pair than the capital of country music, Nashville?
Now, this might not come as a big surprise, but I've always wanted a pair of cowboy boots, and it seems most of our tour group feels the same way. So it's off to Boot Country in Nashville, which offers 3 sets of boots for the price of one. Half the fun is trying on the incredible array of designs on offer. To get the best deal, find 2 other pseudo-cowboys or cowgirls and split the cost between you.
I went boot shopping. Well, that was pretty easy. I just wanted a simple pair of boots in a brownie colour, and the guy said to me, you know, you're size 9.5, and popped them on, and there we were. And I thought they looked great.
Now here's your chance to win a touring package to amazing Thailand and Cambodia with our series competition. This prize for 2 people includes return airfares to Bangkok, 3 nights with breakfast at the fabulous Centara Grand at Central World, a 5-day boutique bike tour from Bangkok to Siem Reap with Grasshopper Adventures, suitable for riders of all levels, including accommodation, all meals and a sunrise visit to stunning Angkor Wat. And 2 final nights of pampering with breakfast at the Shintamani Club Resort in Siem Reap. For this incredible adventure, you'll both receive luggage to match, High Sierra wheeled duffel bags, backpacks and laptop backpacks. And gents, pack a holiday wardrobe to the value of $500 from our friends at Uberman Menswear in Brisbane. There are also 5 runner-up prize packs with a Travel-On anti-theft tour bag, Uberman tea and more. Just tell us in 25 words or less your most amazing travel adventure so far and why. To enter, visit tourtheworld.com.au. I know most of our group have been looking forward to our visit to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, a country music stage concert that's also broadcast as a radio show. It's been running every week since 1927. We tour backstage, then settle in for the show, opened by the Opry Dancers.
You can see it in the entertainers. They are privileged to stand in that circle that everyone talks about. Never let the circle be broken. And it's magic. And I believe, from what I've been told on this trip, that some entertainers on their first trip to the Grand Ole Opry have tears in their eyes. And we're very fortunate on our visit here. We had an Aussie there.
Morgan Evans.
Morgan Evans. Brilliant.
What an absolutely amazing experience this has been. And what better way to finish it off than on board the fabulous Natchez on the Mississippi here in New Orleans with some hot honey jazz.
It seems only fitting that we should end this incredible journey on board the Natchez. The Mississippi River served as a highway to transport early jazz and blues to the rest of the USA and beyond. And riverboats like the Natchez played a key role. The views of NOLA from the water are breathtaking. And the final word, well, that should go to one of our group.
To have danced last night on the floor with the live band to Blue Suede Shoes at BB King's in Memphis is something that will make me smile for the rest of my life.
And isn't that what travel's all about?
Oh, absolutely. I just wish my kids could have seen it.
They may well do.
Now, if you think this tour ticks all the boxes on your holiday checklist, then call Evergreen Tours or go online to evergreentours.com.au. For more episodes of Tour the World, visit our website or track us down on Facebook.
The USA, what an incredible travel destination. I can't recommend this tour highly enough. Amazing from start to finish. Well, special thanks this week, of course, to the Rendezvous Hotel Melbourne and TFE Hotels for their hospitality, and as always to Evergreen Tours. It really is a world of discovery out there with these guys. Until next week, see you then.